Thank you for joining in at another episode of T.T.W.U podcasting. I am Stephen Jassid, author writer of T.T.W.U Understanding Oneself. I just want to come to you today, and I was sitting here looking at something on YouTube. I've been contemplating on something like this for a long time, but of course you got to generate funds and generate revenue and have a reserve backup and so on and so forth to follow your dreams and follow your passion. And I'm always contemplating on, hey, in 10, 15 years, what do I want to do when I'm done, following a certain part, or should I say completing a part of my path. And I was just sitting here looking at something because I want to bring real media, real news to the public, and especially to the Black African American community. And so I was looking at something on YouTube as far as Africa, Ghana, and Nigeria. Check this out. Tell me what you guys think about this.
It's a matter of, do we start on state right away or federal right away, or do both?
So, as a Black American who's considering relocating to Nigeria over Ghana or Senegal or Kenya, like, what would be your advice?
What is that person or group trying to do? And I'll give you an answer.
Okay, there you go. Okay.
What do they want to do?
Okay.
And then I would just say, generally, okay, I would say Nigeria to a point, but what do they really want to do? Now I would say, go here rather than there. So what do that person want to do?
Okay. See, I'm not sure what. See, that's the thing. I don't know what a lot of Black Americans, like when they go to Ghana, I know some people have gotten into hospitality. I know some have want to get into farming. Me, I'm going to do probably more like media.
Mm-hmm. That's what I would do, media.
Because again, like you said, there's 200 million. This is the largest Black country on the planet.
If you want diversity and access to more people and more wealth,
right,
more development,
all the richest Black people are here. Right, exactly.
Yeah, if you're just down with the Pan-African thing, it's like Nigerians don't have the kind of time that the Ghanaians would have. Nigeria is more about making money.
Right.
Surviving and then making money. Ghana is okay, make a little money, have some respect about yourself because it's small and you can't really, disappear into 200 million people like you can. You can't really disappear there.
Correct.
I mean, you'll be known. Then again, being a Black American and doing whatever you do, you're going to get known anyway, no matter where you go.
Correct.
There's just a lot more of us in Accra, for example.
Correct.
So
if you just want to chill and African.
So I'll just pause it right here. What he's pretty much saying is that, say for instance, somebody's trying to migrate back to Africa. He was saying which state, what part would you refer to? And he was saying if you're more about building wealth, making money, that you want to, I believe he said Nigeria, if I'm not mistaken. And Ghana was like, more of settling down and creating, more like families and more quiet. But he was saying that if you want to build wealth, then Nigeria is the place. And I feel that in a sense, because we are all creators, right? And in order to create, you like to start from ground up. And depending on where you're at in life, we're all creating, even when we're following our passion. It's going off creation, you see. And what I was looking at, a light bulb kind of went off because I'm looking like, okay, depending on, what type of wealth you have or what, I'm quite sure it doesn't take much, but the illusion that it'll take a lot of money. But you got to start somewhere to get somewhere. And they're building up. And not only that, they're building up. You got Americans going back to Africa, black, white, whatever the nationality they are, and they're building over there, and they're creating wealth and creating wealth. Not only that, when you transfer your currency from the American money to another country, depending on where the country's currency level is at. Some countries you have way more money when you transfer your currency from American money to whatever country that is. You just got to do your research, and a lot of times we don't know that because we are not taught. Currency, the price of currency. If you understand the the American dollar has decreased. $1 is not worth $1. So and if you just understand something just as small as that, you'll be like, okay, even if you're trying to create wealth, the far as if the dollar's decreasing, you're trying to create wealth, then a lot of what you're doing is not going to be as much valuable. But if you go to a country that's trying to build itself up, and your currency you transfer, you get way more, then logically speaking, it just makes sense. Okay, if for example, let's just say I have $100,000, you go over there, you transfer that currency, it might represent close to 1 million, you know, because of how value their money is, because the dollar's not that much over here, but their currency is more than a dollar. So you transfer the dollar over to another currency, and that's where your money comes. It's compound interest, So if you're thinking like that, then you're thinking creation, because now you're like, okay, well, I can just go over here, even though it's 100,000 over here, I'll have 1 million over here in this country, and then I can help develop, and then you build on that. See, that's what I was sitting here, contemplating on, like, whoa. That's how you can create wealth. Now this might not be for everybody, you see, but at the same time, I want to let people know that there are so many possibilities out here in this world. If you are only stuck in your current environment and not trying to educate yourself, and you just around people that fail to educate yourself, themselves, then you are constantly bombarding yourself with less possibilities to complete your passion. And you don't want to do that. You want to be around people that are constantly growing, that are constantly getting up in the morning, that are constantly checking up on you, that are saying, hey, how far you got in this, that, and the other. You want to constantly union or connect or commune with people that are geared toward changing the reality in which they live in, especially if it doesn't seem right. If something doesn't seem right, then you, the individual, need to make the change. Make the change with yourself, and then that change will, of course, spread outwardly. We all got to just live like nature, and if we live like nature, then we'll definitely see a better planet, and we will definitely see a better positive vibes everywhere, so to speak. Let me just say that. But we got to start using our intelligent minds and start really, really thinking, how can you gain wealth? Because when you start a lifestyle on, okay, how can I build wealth? How the mind works when you start to do something with a focused intent, especially when you have your heart, stomach connected, when that mind jumps into place, oh my gosh, then anything is possible. Nothing, so to speak, becomes impossible, because you already know that, look, I saw it, I visualized it, that means it's real. When you see and visualize something, that's an indication that the possibility can come to happen. It depends on who you're around, because you're around people that do not understand visualization. They just think, oh, you're daydreaming, oh, you're just doing some thinking that's just not going to get a rate of return. But visualization gets you a higher rate of return than opening your eyes and interacting with reality every day, because that's insanity. Because the everyday reality you see every day does not compare to the immaculate beautification of your visions that you visualize. And you always want to live for that. You always want to live for the highest degree of thought. You always want to live for the highest degree of feeling that puts you in the place of like wow, live life for a wow, you know what I mean? Live life for, live life for an idea that may put you in an uncomfort zone at the time, but when you're there, you're there. When you created wealth, you create wealth, and we're all in a predicament, and we're all in this bubble where we just really, really, really want to create wealth, whether we know it or not, whether you say you don't want to do that or not. We all want to create wealth to pass down to our family, well, you know, whoever you built up, and it's about building a community, rebuilding and reshaping this entire world for the best of this planet, for the best of humanity. You see, so that's what I was just sitting here wanting to look at. Let me go ahead and press play again, see what else he's talking about.
Would suggest Ghana, but if you're work, you want to work and speak English. But if you want to work and grind and you got a plan, you can get richer in Nigeria.
Well, it depends on what you're trying to do.
Right.
You trying to do? There's one thing I'd like to do: go to Ghana, mine gold and mint gold, and create a currency for all Africans in diaspora in gold and silver coin. Ghana's the best place.
Okay.
There's gold in Nigeria, but there's more red tape to get to it. There's more freedom about doing things like that here. But like I said, what are you really trying to do? Do you want to be able to, on a moment's notice, get on a non-stop flight to the States?
We can do that on both. Out of Nigeria and Ghana.
Which airline out of Ghana?
Delta flies direct to NYC.
New York, and then here you fly straight to Atlanta.
Right.
Because I know they've been swapping it up and down. I flew United the last time.
But you had a layover somewhere.
Accra for 1 hour. We went. I went the first time into Dulles after 1 hour stop in Accra. The next trip at the end of 2011.
Okay, I think he's just talking about, you know, the different flights you can take to get to these places over in Africa, and he's just letting you people know that it's very, very cheap. Also, what I'm recognizing, if Africa or wherever you're at in Africa was what they say it is, AIDS and ran down, and I believe we talked about that already, then Africa should be horrified. It should be mortified. He wouldn't be driving around doing that, and they wouldn't be driving around talking, and it's almost as if there's nothing going on. So there's a certain stigma, you know, like they do to blacks in America. Oh, they're like this, and they do it in Africa. But yet I'm watching documentaries. This isn't the first documentary I'm watching. Africa is very civilized, whether we know it or not. It's very civilized, and they want to be developed, and they are being developed, not by just blacks, but by the Chinese, by the Russians, by the UK. So everybody's trying to hurry up and go to these undeveloped countries, because those are what? Opportunities. Opportunities means options. I look at it like this: when a person do not have options, they don't have opportunities, because options means opportunities, meaning possibilities. So you always want to make sure that you have opportunities, options, and possibilities open for you. And the thing is, it's all there already. You just have to have a focused intent on where do you want to go, where do you want to bring, and what do you want to do, and stop listening to all this negativity that they put on this TV. It's junk, you know, like junk food. Because the way I look at it, news is food, or it's supposed to be food, because why? It's information. Why would they sit here and say like chicken soup for the soul? Because it's different information that what feeds you. Information feeds the mind, it feeds the body, because once you know information and you use that information, then depending on where you're using it and that information, where you're using it towards, where the health goes toward the body. So you're using health information, the health information is for the body, and you utilize that and you look great. You know, education is information for the mind. So the more you educate yourself, and download the information that you need to download, you know, then you use that download to use on this out there, use the download for the outside society that we're experiencing. So what are you downloading every day? Even watching this video is a download. Even if you're watching it and you're looking at your phone, but you're still watching it or listening, at the same time you're downloading. A lot of people download certain things throughout their lives, and they wonder why their certain things become chaotic. Because when you download without the understanding of what you're downloading, and you pretty much open yourself to possibilities that you didn't know that were there. Certain games you download, the certain movies you watch is a download. Everything that we're doing and that we interact in life, we are downloading. And you know why I say we're downloading? Because we have a subconscious mind that pick everything up and record. So when you know that you have something in your a part of the brain, which is the subconscious, that picks up, record, and remember, and then react, you see, then you know that this is a part of self that something is downloading. Because if you didn't download anything, you wouldn't remember. That's why we download. You download on your computer till you have it for later, because it's a remembering process. That's what download is. If you didn't download the process of how to walk, you wouldn't know how to walk. If you didn't download the process on how to eat food, you wouldn't understand how to eat food. So we got to understand, as human beings, what are we downloading every day? And when you are understanding what are you downloading, how is it going to impact your life? Because we can sit here and say, I want to download this, I want to download this, I want to download that, or educate myself on this, and this. But if you're not going to use that information, towards your passion, toward that future, then it'll definitely set you back. And you can't procrastinate. You can't sit here and say, okay, I'm gonna do it tomorrow, because the more you wait, the longer you wait, you just distance yourself from your inevitable future, you see. So they were just talking about how to get over there, cheat, because there are ways to get over there, and there are ways to do things to where we don't just have to sit here and be subjected to something that we know that doesn't make sense. I mean, we know police violence doesn't make sense. We know that not raising minimum wage for the public, it doesn't make sense. We know that a lot of things that are enacted here just doesn't make sense. And I'm tired. I don't fight. I don't like fighting. I like to come up with solutions, to make it easier for all of us. But if it comes to the point where I'm like, oh, okay, well, it seems like it just can't work, then this might be an alternate solution. Gain weight, build your wealth, and just, build, something over there. We need to stop being afraid, stop being scared, and stop listening to what we're being taught, and do our own research and education. Do not take my word for it. Do your own research. So I'm going to leave it at that. I love you. Thanks for joining in. I am Stephen Jossie, and I'll see you on the next episode. Like, subscribe, share, and I love you all.